Hi everybody, I trust you're all well. Another instalment from my advice, and today I am tying you a variation on a flashback pheasant tail nymph. This worked really well for me on a recent fishing outing I had. In two casts I had a £6 2-ounce brownie and then a £7.5 brownie, and this fly was the one that caught it. I also then went on to catch another couple of rainbows on it as well. It's been lethal. I've had a variation of this in my box for a while, but I watched a video by Phil Rowley and picked up one of his ideas, and it seemed to really make the difference. So I'm going to show you how I tie it. In the vise, we have a Togens Curve Nymph, size 16, and paired with that we have a Brown Magic tungsten bead in 2.4 millimeters. And what I've done is I've stuck the bead on backwards. I've put the countersunk hole on it's gonna come over the eye, so it just sits a bit further forwards, and it allows us to bring the bead over the breather material. So without further ado, let's get tying. I've got white tying thread because the breathers are going to be white, and the breathers are uni-stretch floss in white. So catch the thread on just behind the eye. Don't go too far down, and snip off your excess, and then cut a strand of your uni-stretch, double it over so the two ends are together, and then just catch it in on top of the hook shank. And what we want to do is catch it down not too far, and then snip off your excess material. Take your thread to the eye and do 2 or 3 turns just in front of the breather material because we want to kick that up, and then whip finish. There you go. Cut your thread off, and this is when you bring the bead forwards and you squeeze it over what you've done, as you can see, and then the breathers protrude out the front of the eye. But I'm just going to trim them slightly and we'll cut them to size later on. And then catch your thread on again behind the bead and lay down a nice bed of thread. We are going to want to taper in the fly, so I'd suggest going halfway down, all the way back up, and then all the way back down again. And it just allows us to build that taper in straight away. Now, I say from here, it's a relatively simple pheasant tail pattern. The body, cock pheasant tail. The rib, gold wire. And we're going to have a flashback, which is medium hollow tinsel, and it is in green. This is the bit that Phil Rowley triggered my imagination with, and it was the forest green type colour, as opposed to some flashier stuff that I've used in the past, and it worked really, really well for me. And I think the hollow tinsel, the green hollow tinsel, gives it a trigger point, a little bit of flash, but being quite subtle. I'm going to tie some of these with orange hollow tinsel for the idiots stockies that are in some of the bigger reservoirs where I fish, but this for browns and wily old wise fish seems to work really well. So first thing we want to do is tie in the rib, because the rib is the last piece of material that we are going to use. You'll have to excuse me, apparently I'm incapable of tying in ribbing material. So I'm just going to take that all the way up. Dear me. I'm having a mare today. Right, there we go, all the way up. Stick the rib in your materials clip. And then the flashback. You want to make sure as you're tying this on that it stays right on top of the hook shank. Thread tension is going to want to take it down one side, but you need to ensure that this remains right on top of the hook shank. How you do that's up to you. I like to tie it in at the bead end, because then you can look on the top as you go down, lift it up slightly, and that stops that thread tension trying to move the hollow tinsel. Take it all the way down to where you've finished your thread here, and then just pull it forwards to make sure that you are happy with how it's sitting, and then clip it into your materials clip. Now for the body. You need a decent clump of pheasant tail here. Pull them out 90 degrees from the stem, tear them away, and we're tying those in by the tips. And it's best to hold them about 60 degrees, which allows that thread to, 60 degrees is more there, allows the thread just to catch them, and then you can do a couple of turns and just pull the tips until you're happy with it, and then take your thread all the way up in relatively touching turns. It'll catch down the tips, but also it allows a smooth body, and it's good practice. Okay, and then what I like to do is just snip off the curlies on the end of the pheasant tail, the bits that have come off the stem, because it allows for a slightly flatter, more even wrap. And then we're taking these up in touching turns, so you need a decent length of fibre. Just all the way up the body, and then finish up here behind the bead. Leave a little bit of a gap. We've got a thorax to go in, and we've got materials to tie off, so leave a bit of a gap, and then come in and snip away your excess material. There we go. Okay, fine. Next one, we're bringing the hollow tinsel over the back. And the way I like to do this is a couple of wraps. Looks like it's twisted, so I'm just going to do it again. If you're not happy, go back, do it again. That had twisted actually, so it's a good job I did. A couple of loose wraps, just like that. Then you let the weight of the bobbin hold it, and you can give it a pull, tighten it up. And what's going to happen here is when you wrap the rib over that hollow tinsel, thread tension is going to want to push the hollow tinsel over the side. So that's why I've done loose wraps, because then we can readjust it. But I'm also going to show you how I tie this in, and it's a couple of turns at the back, and then we're going to go over the top loosely, and then we're going to pull up. We're not putting tension going across, so you can see down and then pull up over there, then pull up, pull up, pull up, and then when you reach the point where you've tied off the tinsel, tie off the wire. Lift both up, a couple of wraps in front, get rid of that wire, keep tension on your thread, helicopter away the wire, and snip away the hollow tinsel. Right, finally, thorax. We've got this Togens Prism Dubbing Light Olive. Looks amazing, nice bit of sparkle through it. Works really, really well. Don't need much for this. It's really easy to dub as well. So we're just going to whack that on the thread. Nice slender dubbing noodle, you can always add more. Go back a little ways, there we go. And then just add a bit of bolt and thorax. There we go. And then pull away your excess. And with what's left, because there's going to be a few straggly little threads here, just dub it tight and use that as part of your whip finish. 2, 3, there we go. Whip finish behind the bead. Seat the knot well. Snip off your thread. Just get rid of those extra long dubbing fibres, we don't need those particularly. And then it's just a question of trimming your breathers to length, really. Don't make the mistake I did first of all and pull this super stretch floss tight to snip the breathers, because it'll be too short. So you want to measure it under no tension, snip it off, and then you're good to go. And that is my flashback pheasant tail nymph. Works really, really well. Tie it up. Let me know how you get on. You can find me on Instagram or through Togens. I'd be keen to know the colour combinations you use. You can use dyed pheasant tail if you want to, different coloured holographic tinsel, but it works so well. It was inspired by Phil Rowley. It was also inspired by my Togens colleagues who tie chironomids on these hooks with the beads reversed and the breathers. It's something that's evolved, and this one works really well. Hopefully I'll see you soon. Take care of yourselves in the meantime.